and Amateurism Committee in 1987, and we came up with a revolutionary new idea: room, board, books, tuition fees, and $2,000 a year. In recognition of the fact that it costs more than room, board, books, tuition fees to go to school. When each of your parents get in touch with the Office of Financial Aid, they're going to tell you what those basic educational expenses are, and then they're going to tell you how much more it costs to go to the University of Iowa based upon trips home and local housing and how much it costs for pizza and all of those kinds of incidental things that all of you incur. In the past, none of those expenses have been paid for by the athletic scholarship, and we tried in 1987 to get put some money in the student athletes' hands in recognition of that reality, and it got voted down because there were institutions that couldn't afford the cost of it from a financial standpoint. Recently, we've restructured the NCAA. The 5 high visibility conferences now have some autonomy, and the first thing we did was put in place an opportunity to build the scholarship up to the full cost of attendance. So now you can not only have your expenses for classes defrayed, but you can actually receive some expense payments that will help you get through the year. So those that are out there that advocate for some sort of a professional model, and one of the lawsuits that we're defendants in asserts that there ought to be an open marketplace. We ought to bid for college athletes just like the NFL does, and we ought to call them employees, and they ought to be paid. And if if the second string center is worth $3,000 a year and the quarterback's worth $100,000 a year, you just go ahead and pay it. There are plaintiffs' lawyers that allege that ought to be our model. We don't believe that. I believe that this is a co-curricular activity. And it is, if it's not a co-curricular activity and it's not about education and getting a degree, then you really want to question whether or not it belongs on a college campus. And so this is a middle ground. We should have been able to do it a long time ago, but for financial reasons, it always got voted down. Well, now with the 5 autonomy conferences being able to vote on it separately, we've been able to put it in place, and so all student athletes under the umbrella of those 5 major conferences can now receive some additional defrayal of their expenses. And as I say, it should have been done a long time ago, but we couldn't get it through the system. And so I think we've made a lot of progress, but it's never going to satisfy those that think these ought to be paid employees.